biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Regina Sunshine, coming to you from what is always a beautiful day for me here in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Regina Sunshine Show. Here every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m., bringing you my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. And I'm so excited to be here for what is the third show of the year now? Yes, third show of the year. This is a continuation of my People You Need to Know series, and I have two amazing women here in studio for you to meet today. I have Miss Marcia Fisher. Is it Marcia or Marcia? Marcia, I did it right. All right, Marcia Fisher and Butta B-Rocka. There we go. I'm going to get it right. And we're going to have an amazing show. I'm so excited. It's always good we're going to have live music in the studio. It's always a good thing. But before I get started, I'm not going to take a break like I normally do and do announcements. We're starting a few minutes behind, so I'll go ahead and give you my announcements for today. I mentioned last week that I have a couple new staff members for Regina Sunshine Global Network, and we've actually added an additional one who has always been on the team, but he's never had an official title, other than when he first started working for me and my sister, and he was considered like our assistant handyman or whatever. But my son, Gabriel Robinson, has officially been promoted to Chief Creative Officer is his new title, because most of the ideas you see us come up with for the company, for the show, for the events we do come from my son. He is such a creative mind when it comes to those types of things. The names for some of our organizations and projects came from him. So my sister and I talked, because it is our plan to have each of our kids on the board as they come of age. And Gabriel's new title is Chief Creative Officer. But I do want to mention again our new, first of all, my sister Pamela Stanley is CFO of all of our companies. And our new Chief Operating Officer, Aria Jeffers, my new administrative assistant, Shaquita Maxey, and I'm saving Christine Adams for last because I want to give her a big shout out. Our Director of Communications, Christine Adams, who is also our social media director for Bold Plus Magazine. For those who don't know, I'm the new editor-in-chief of Bold Plus Magazine. Christine is our new social media director, and there's been a lot of buzz on the Bold Plus page this past week. She has been doing the thing, and I've had 3 different people inside of Bold Favor magazine reach out to me and talk about what a great job my team was doing in terms of stirring up interest about Bold Plus through social media. And like I said, most of that credit goes to Christine. I hired her, I gave her that project. She and I do check in like every other day to make sure everything's on track, but she has taken the reins with that and run hard. And I was telling Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, who is the founder of Bold Favor, 2 days ago, that Christine has begun thinking about the magazine in terms of just making it better as a whole. She already has been shooting me ideas for people we want to have on the cover and everything. And I love it when people truly get the vision behind what you're doing and they take ownership and they work it like it's theirs. Because what happens then is it opens up doors of opportunity for God to bless her in her own life, in her own endeavors, because she has been faithful over someone else's. So I'm so honored and blessed that Christine Adams is a part of our team. And I just wanted to give her a shout out for all the work she's done. And to let you guys know, the first issue under my leadership for Bold Plus Magazine is due to hit the scene very soon, and I'm so excited. For those who don't know, our first cover, and it only made sense to me as my first cover, that Tamika Georgia Me Harper would be our cover story. If you don't know, Tamika is the queen of spoken word. She is an Emmy award-winning, Tony award-winning, Peabody award-winning spoken word artist. Has been on Broadway, 6 seasons of deaf poetry, and in the spoken word world, they all know who the queen is, and it's Georgia Me. But she was so excited when I reached out to her, and I told her there was nobody else that I could have reached out to for that first cover to bring us into the new year and to inspire our women other than her. So a shout out to Tamika. Also, I do want to mention, I got a couple new things happening in 2018. And last year, I just made one big announcement and announced everything at once, which was kind of overwhelming in terms of people remembering. So I think every week I'm going to give you one new announcement. And the announcement for this week is I'm going to have a new segment on my show called Fashion and Passion with V Dinks. That is designer Vivian Dinks. And so every fourth Monday, she and I are going to have a 30-minute segment on my show where she talks about how she uses fashion as ministry. And for those who don't know, she is my clothing sponsor for the year. So every month you'll see me in some new Vivian Dinks creation. So the one for January, this Saturday, I'll mention that event again, it's coming out this Saturday. So y'all stay tuned, because I committed myself to wear whatever she gave me. I submitted myself to her. And she was like, "Oh, I'm going to have some fun." And I said, "Jesus, help me." So I don't even know what I'm wearing to the event Saturday. All I know is I'm going to go by her house and pick it up, and I'm supposed to wear it. So praise God that she is as talented and as amazing as she is. And then when I had the opportunity to get on the phone with her and find out about her heart for people and ministry and helping women, it really took everything I was thinking about her to another level. So every segment, we're going to talk about something dealing with mental health or abuse or relationships, just all types of things. And we're also going to be doing makeovers. So, she had the idea of doing makeovers with homeless women and women who had been affected by domestic violence. Well, after I got off the phone with her, and it was like this stream of ideas. The next day, I sent her a list of like 15 different makeovers. I said, we can do women that are, recently widowed, women who are recently divorced, maybe young girls who, are going to the prom for the first time and they don't have, the income to really prepare for prom, or a college student just getting out of college. So my ideas were all of these women that are attempting their first or a new phase of life, that we could bring them on the show and allow Vivian to minister to them in the way that she ministers. So that's what we're going to be doing every fourth Monday. It's going to be Fashion and Passion with Miss V Dinks, and I'm so excited about that. All right. Now, I mentioned that I'm going to be at an event this Saturday. I'll be wearing my first V Dinks original this Saturday, January the 27th. I'm actually going to be going to an event in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. For those who don't know, I do talk show host coaching. So I coach other people that start their own shows. Probably started about 20 or more shows since I started doing that. First, I was just doing it because I love people and I love, helping people bring visions to life. And then about, I'll say about 6 months or so ago, I began doing it in an official coaching capacity. But one of the first people I ever coached was Miss Michelle Gerald. And she does a show called Be Inspired with Michelle G on Blog Talk Radio. And it's her 1-year anniversary celebration in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's where she lives. And so we're going to be there. I'll be with my V Dinks original. Our keynote speaker is Miss Lanita Mitchell Blackwell. I'm actually the MC for the event. And we got a whole host of people from Atlanta that are driving down. We've got Tinsley Bradford, PR for Bold Media Group is going down. Christine Adams, a number of people that are traveling to Myrtle Beach to support Michelle and her efforts there. So we're going to have a great time there. I think that's it. I got one more announcement. Like I said, if I tell too many, it's just too much going on. So that's what I got for today. But I do want to remind you guys that if you've never gotten my book, Regina Sunshine, State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right, you can find it at reginasunshine.com, amazon.com, also in His Place Bookstore in Greenwood, South Carolina. And new, very soon, it's going to be in the ERGJ Black Bookstore here in Atlanta. So I am so excited about that. And something beautiful about checks that just show up in your mail and you didn't do anything for but ship books to people and then they just start sending checks to you. And so I told my son, I said, I didn't put that on my vision statement for 2018, the number of books or checks I want to receive from different bookstores across the country, but I have to go back and add that, because if you get one check from 100 bookstores a month, that's a nice check coming to your house every month. And they're probably going to sell more than one book. So I'm going to have to add that to my vision statement as well. But definitely you can get the book on my website. That's where I get the best return from it. And as well, when you buy it from my website, you also get a Regina Sunshine affirmation card. These are my scripture affirmations that I give out at every event that we have, as well as your own Regina Sunshine It's Not Over Till I Win bracelet to go along with your book. So if you order it from me, you'll get those additional gifts as well. All right. I think that's it, Ned. I think I've said enough. That's a lot. And like I said, there's a lot more stuff coming, but I figure I just drop one thing every show so everybody can catch up to what's going on right now. But before I go to break on every show, you guys know I always mention something that I'm thankful for. And today I wrote that I was thankful for patient people and forgiving partners. And I say that because the last 2 months of my life have probably been some of the most blessed months of my life, but also very challenging. And I'm gotten behind on some things. And people that know me, my personality type is everything on time. And in fact, I like to do things ahead of time. I get everywhere early. I was late to the station today. And what has happened is I've gotten behind on some projects that I'm working with several different organizations and people. And I'm so thankful that as I've begun to reach out to them and extend apologies and ask for extensions, everybody has been so gracious and patient with me, because this is new and unfamiliar territory. I've been busy and overwhelmed before, but I've never been in this place before. And what I recognize is that the reason that I'm busy and overwhelmed is because I have not released any of these responsibilities and duties to my new staff, which is what I'm going to be doing. And Lanita told me, she says, when you get to a place where you're so too busy and overwhelmed, God's going to send people, vision carriers, who are ready to take their part of the vision and bring it to life. And that's what has happened. My vision carriers are in place. I just got to trust them and release so that we can get more work done. So I'm so thankful for those people, and this is a shout out to all of you who've been patient and who've given me a chance to get my things together, and so we can really run hard in 2018. All right? So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, you'll meet my first guest on the continuation of our People You Need to Know series here on the Regina Sunshine Show.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, and they call me the Affirmation Queen. Why am I called the Affirmation Queen? Because I'm a big believer that if you change the way you speak, you'll change the way you think, and you'll change the circumstances in your life. So start today speaking words of life over you and your circumstances, and see if everything doesn't begin to line up with those things that you are speaking. And I want to leave you with these parting thoughts. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. And take with you my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning. Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back with your girl, Regina Sunshine, here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And this is a continuation of my People You Need to Know series here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And the first guest that I have to introduce you to is someone I'm meeting for the first time today, Miss Marcia Fisher. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
Really
That's
excited
good.
to be here.
Well, I always like to start off with how I met someone. And like I said, we just met, and I actually got a phone call from, I guess she is your PR, your manager. Helen reached out to me.
Yes.
She said and I was trying to remember. I told her, don't credit it to my heart, credit it to my head, that I don't exactly remember. We met at one of Angela Carswell Positive Arts Movement events. So I'm so thankful that people remember me and they send great guests to my show. Yes. So let's start off by you telling the audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And yes, I'm really excited to be here because it gives me an opportunity to speak with you and to let you know what I do, who I am. I'm Marcia Fisher. As Miss Sunshine said, I am the author of The Odyssey of Survival.
Yes.
And the Long Wandering, which is the second part of the series. It's a series of my life events. I'm also big in community service. I run a very big and very large community service in Austell, Georgia, where I do food pantry, enclosed closet, and a little bit of mentoring over there.
Really?
I'm also very involved in my church, where I am the only female ordained elder. And so I'm very, very involved in my church. I call myself a woman of God because that, in essence, that is actually who I am. It is only God who have brought me through all the things which when you read this book, you'll wonder, how did she ever get through that? And I can tell you right up front, it is only by the grace of God that I'm sitting here today. And because of that, I call myself a kept woman.
A kept woman. Woo!
Kept by God.
Well, you have piqued my interest on so many levels. All right. So we're definitely going to talk about the book.
Yes.
Let's go back to what you said about your community organization, your food pantry. Please tell me about that.
The food pantry, it is operated out of my church, which is the Grandview Seventh-day Adventist Church in Austell, Georgia.
Yes.
I started it about 7 years ago with just bread from Trader Joe. And now, monthly, we feed between 5,000 and 6,000 people who are coming through from the community, from all the surrounding communities. On the second Wednesday of each month, the Atlanta Community Food Bank, which is located right down the corner, they send us a trailer load of food, which is distributed, and the other weeks, we purchase the food.
Yes.
And then they come in and they get all the clothes that they need. I also do toys for tots at Christmas time for the children. And last year we got 1,500 toys. And it is never enough because there's such a need out there. There are people who need so much. And the very basic thing that people need are food and shelter. One of my deepest desire is to one day open up a shelter for abused women and children. In the meantime, I try to keep them clothed and fed.
Oh my goodness, I'm blown away because this is what I mean about this space being divine appointments. Because as I was looking over your press release, because I'd asked Helen, I said, send me her bio. She said, well, I'll send you the press release. And the press release is specifically about the book.
Yes.
So of course I didn't know anything else about what you were going to say. And that is amazing. So what is the space from within you that heart for service comes from?
That comes from being a survivor. I had a very troubled past, very abused past, and that was brought about, initiated by my mother, who is supposed to be your protector. So I've always felt very unsafe. I've always don't have a great deal of trust in others, but there's always something within me that is there that I want to help. I want to help someone to never be in need. I can't fulfill all the needs, but I can certainly try. And God has blessed and God has helped and given me ideas and resources, which I use to help as much as I can. If I'm home, someone calls and say, hey, Marcia, we don't have any food. I know someone. I'm the person who'd want to get up, except my husband say, tell them tomorrow. Tell them to get it tomorrow. It bothers me. If you called me and say, I have no food today, I cannot go to bed, knowing that someone is hungry.
Oh, I've so got to come by this space and see what you're doing over there, because as I'm listening to you, I think about, there's this gentleman named Paul Lamar Hunter. I did an interview with him once for Bold Favorite Magazine. And when you spoke about your mother, he said, so often people talk about absent fathers, abusive fathers, but there are not many conversations about mothers. And he had 18 siblings, I think. And they went through abuse with their mother. He said, and same thing he said, when your mother is not there for you, he said, then you feel like there's nobody in the world.
There is no one.
Yeah, and he said he always felt like it was just him and his siblings, that there was no one else that could identify with how he felt. And that's one of the things he's trying to raise awareness. Let's have these conversations. So when did you get to a space where you were able to be transparent and open about this?
It was a very long journey. It actually started or came about in 2004 when a friend of mine stopped me from committing suicide because the pain was so deep and the hurt just hurt so much. I didn't know how to go on. I could not find peace. There was no wellness. There was nothing. And all my memories are of abuse. My first marriage, I left my husband in Florida because of verbal abuse. I just could not take it anymore. And I brought my daughter here, my 16-year-old daughter, my last of 3, from Florida. And I was so hopeless and helpless, just being here, just both of us. And the day I decided, you know what, this is it. My daughter had gone to school, and I said, I don't know how she's going to handle this. And I was hurt so bad, but I cannot live another day. And I took a shower and put on my best lingerie and all the pills I had and laid in bed. And I was lying there with the pills in my hand, and there's a knock on my door. And I'm like, who is bothering me? I'm expecting no one. And after the third knock, I got up and opened the door. And there was a friend of mine who had also moved here from Florida who said it passed me to go to work, and the Holy Spirit told him, go check on Marcia. He said he kept driving, and 3 times, almost if somebody in the back seat said to him, go check on Marcia. Turned around, knocked on my door, and that stopped me. That day, I broke down. And this is someone I'd known for maybe 10, 11 years who had no idea what I'd gone through. But at that point, I broke down and just cried and cried like a little baby. And after he left, I just cried out to God, as I'd been doing for years. And as clear as day, he said to me, write. I said, write what? Write. That is going to be your saving grace. Your healing will come from writing so you can help someone else.
Yes.
And it took a couple of days of me struggling with God. How do I write this? How do I write about all the abuse and being raped at 12 years old while my mother sat right there? How do I do that? And God gave me the strength. It took a very long time. There are days when I just couldn't write for maybe 2 weeks. And even now, sometimes I can't read my own story at times. There are parts of it that I still cannot read. But I tell you that writing this story began my healing process. That's where the healing started. And that's where I began to, I wouldn't say live again, but to find a purpose. Because then I started to say, you know what, there may be somebody else who can benefit. There just might be someone else. And you talked about the mother. Writing and talking about my mother and my father are the 2 hardest things in my life. My father was the love of my life, who died years ago. But my mother, I was never able to join in a conversation about mothers. Everybody talks about their mothers. Everybody loved their mothers, and everybody this and everybody that. But I would find myself leaving the room, walking away, getting up from a table whenever someone started talking about their mother, their wonderful mother. I did not have a wonderful mother. And it's hard to say that, but it's true.
Yes.
And so I've had to find my own way by the grace of God.
Somebody needs your voice. Somebody needs your story, because just as I was talking about Paul and how he felt so alone, because like you said, it's such an uncommon thing to hear that no one can identify. And so it's not like you can sit down and they're looking at you like,
What's
really?
wrong with you?
Yes.
You must have been a bad child.
Yes, yes. So you mentioned that your book is a part of a series.
Yes.
So which book
This
is
is the
this?
first.
This is the first.
The Long Wandering will be, which is a continuation, will be out by the end of February.
Okay, so let's talk about the Odyssey of Survival.
Survival.
So, because one of my first questions you've already answered, because I was going to say, why did you decide to write the book?
Yeah.
So you were directed by the Holy Spirit to write this book.
For healing.
And you began to write.
Yes.
And begin to end. Was it a roller coaster of emotions?
It still is.
It still is.
It still is. It still is a roller coaster, but it's so worth it. It is so worth it. I found that by writing it has not only helped me, myself, but it has helped so many other persons, so many other ladies. It has given us a voice.
Yes.
And that's what I would like to do, to empower women and men, because there are men who also endure abuse.
Yes.
But I would like everyone who would read the book to look past Marcia. And if they can identify and see yourself, if you can, let me speak directly to you, if you can identify and see yourself and you have been any type of abuse, I want you to know that there is life after abuse.
Yes.
There is hope out there. People might not understand it. When you start reading, I preface my book by saying, who can I tell this to? People might not want to talk to me again after you've read my stories, because I've never told it to anyone. It was 40 years before I started writing about it, before I even spoke it the first time. It was 40 years. 40 years of just keeping the shame, because there is something about abuse, you feel responsible. You feel so ashamed, as if, what did I do?
Yeah.
Now, do you want me to continue, or you have a question?
No, go ahead. I'm just so, yeah, go ahead.
I'm Jamaican, if you hear the accent.
Yes.
And I still don't know how my mother became such good friends with one of the ministers in our government. That's how the high ranking, like almost the deputy prime minister of the country, like you see, you know. And they were so close that he was named as my godfather. My mother had 11 children. But I was the one singled out as his goddaughter. And so there are good parts of it. And what I did prior to writing the book is I would tell you the good parts. I would talk about the huge houses and the opulence and the chauffeurs and the maids and the traveling here and the flights to Miami and the yachts and the Rolls Royce, because all of that was a part of being in a close relationship with a top-ranking government person. I would never mention the other parts. That was buried so deep, and which I tried to cover up so hard. And I would say, so I thought I'd done a great job in successfully covering up, but I came to realize that I unsuccessfully done so because I was dying. I was dying. I was barely able to, I took care of my children. I have 3 wonderful daughters, the love of my lives. And I got remarried again. And the story, and I know I'm jumping around.
No, you're
but
good.
even
Go
like
ahead.
just before we published the book, my second husband had no idea. No
Really?
clue. I was still, I think I was afraid to tell him. When the book was about to come out, I said, "Ooh, I need to say something."
Yes. Yes.
He knew I kept writing. I would sit up all night writing and editing, and I'm talking to people about publishing, and we're doing all these things. But he had no idea. And he's not like one of those inquisitive men who will flip the book, what are you writing? He just took it for granted. She likes to write. So, you're a real writer. Wherever you go, you're writing something. and so we must find a way to thrive. We must find a way to go on. We must find a way to know that there is more to us than what someone can do to us.
Yes.
Because people can hurt your body, but we have to know who we are in soul and in spirit, and to know that my spirit is connected to the Spirit of God, and you can't touch my spirit.
That's right. I told a young lady once, it actually was someone, we were at an event in Raleigh, North Carolina, and she was on a panel, and it was the first time she'd ever said out loud that her father had sexually abused her. I'm telling you, I think we cried for hours that day because it was like the whole event just stopped. And we allowed her to have that space because she felt safe to finally say it. And I told her, I said, baby, I said, you don't own that. I said, that person owns those actions. Yes. And I said, one of the reasons you're having such, because you have owned, you have taken on, like you are responsible, but you aren't, you don't own that. Yes. And since then, she has gone and started an amazing organization for people who have been abused and continue to tell that story. And just like her, I see in you, a space, because it makes a difference when you're speaking from a space of I've been where you are, as opposed to, oh, it'll be okay. Yes. And if you've never been there, you can tell me you think it's gonna be okay, but how do I know unless you've been in this space where I am and have found your way out that it's gonna be okay? Yes. So when you finally told your husband, did you tell him or did you allow him to read the book?
No, he's not read the book.
He read the book?
He has not.
He has not?
He has not read the book.
So you just told him what was going to be?
I told him what the story was about, and he was shocked. He was a little bit upset that I had not trusted him enough to tell him. And my question was, does it make a difference? Does it make a difference to you now that you know that you're married to someone who has been sexually abused? Does it make a difference? Does it change your love for me? Does it change who we are as a couple? And to be honest, he said, I don't know. I don't know. But he thought about it. We talked about it. We prayed about it. And if it is a good way to say it, brought us closer.
That is so real and honest, though, because you can say to a person it's not going to change, but it has to change the way he sees you and the way he even reacts to the things that your emotions and how you're feeling. Because if I really care about you, then I have to take these things into consideration, that you're hurt on a deeper level than I even could have imagined. So something that I think is surface level may be something that's really harmful to you. So I'm sitting and I'm so thankful that you had that type of conversation where he could say, I don't know.
Yes.
And
he
then
said, I don't know. And it really did, because he then started to say, now I understand why you react certain ways to certain things. Now I can understand. And I said, yes. And then I said, You'll never fully understand, but at least you can begin to understand. And now it has opened up dialogue between us.
Wow.
And so actually, very first book signing I had, and each time I have a presentation, I do a lot of public speaking. Sometimes he'll just leave the room and say, I can't listen to this. And then when he found out who the abuser was, it's one of our leaders in the country. Because I'd always talked about my godfather. I'd always talked about the good things.
And so this is someone he had associated all this positive with.
Yes.
Wow.
Because of the power. You see, there's something when someone has power over you. Who could I tell? I could not tell the police department. I could not tell a teacher or a friend. I could tell no one that Minister so-and-so, who you see on television, who is running our country, raped me at 12 years old and kept raping me for years and years and years. And my mother is in cahoots with it, to use a lingo. Gets paid. Each time she brings me over, when she tells me go get dressed, no matter what I do, the chauffeur will drive up and just load it off in the car and taken away. And he can do whatever he wanted to do. Now remember, I'm 12. He's 50-something at the time. And so it's real.
So what has been the reaction to the book?
The reaction to the book has been so wonderful. It was originally published in 2012, and there's still people waiting for the second part. There's still people who, and ladies mostly, who I became so close with. We have become friends because they too have endured some type of molestation, some type of abuse, which they could tell no one, but they have found a confidant. They found someone here, as you said earlier, who understands, someone who we can sit on the phone and we can talk, and we can say, yes, I've been there. Someone who I'll take time out of my busy schedule and go meet and talk with. And so apart from the monetary compensation, my greatest achievement, I think, is in putting voice. And now we see in the media, all these women are coming forward, and it just stirred it all up within me again. I get so angry.
Yeah.
I get so angry watching the television, and I start to say, the worst part is when someone say, well, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say something? No one realizes that you cannot always say something. You just can't. Depends on who the person is. If it's your father, you can't say anything, mostly. I've heard so many horror stories of young girls and guys telling their mother that they've been abused by their father or vice versa. They're not believed because a woman can choose a husband over her children.
And it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
It does.
And you know, 2 weeks ago on our men's show, the topic came up, the Me Too topic came up, and I had to really talk to the men because it's my men's show. It's me plus 5 male co-hosts, and I told them, I said, if you've never walked through this world as a woman, you don't know how often men say things to you. How often men, I mean, it's such a part of our lives. So you don't get it. I said, in fact, I want every one of you to go home today, I said, and talk to the women here and just ask them. I said, things they've never said to you, things they've never told, whoever rubbed up against them or wherever. I said that they have never said to you, because it is just, it's a part of who we are as women. It's a part of our reality. And some of the men were really shocked. They were like, because they were like, a lot of people, it's just like everybody's jumping on this bandwagon. I said, no, what you don't understand. I said, the reason that it seems like a lot of people at once, I said, because one voice gives another person courage to speak. Absolutely. And then when another one speaks, it gives another person courage to speak. I said, so you feel like I'm not by myself. So this is the time I got to jump in now. Well, I have this army of warriors around me, and I'm safe for me to say something. And some of them said they were going to go home. I said, please do. I said, I challenge every man, go and talk to your wives, to your mother, to your daughters. I said, because very often, especially if it's a man that is close to your family, because I had one of my father's friends used to always flirt with me, and I never said anything to him. It was my dad's best friend. right?
Yes.
But when he would come over, I'd go to my room, try to find somewhere else to be, because I knew my father was the type. Because once before, I had a run-in with some men on the street, and they were following me. And I ran home, and we got in the car with my dad, and he put me in the car, and he went back to confront them. And as soon as we pulled up, and they saw it was him, because they knew my dad was crazy, they said, "Oh, we didn't know it was your daughter." And he said, "It shouldn't be anybody's daughter." I will never forget that, because I was terrified. He's going to harm somebody. That's what I was thinking. And so when it happened where his best friend was coming, I didn't say anything, because I was like, he's going to harm him. And it's going to disrupt our entire family and our relationships. And so often you say you quiet because of everything that's involved in you saying something. And I'm so glad that you're giving voice to this, because it needs to be told. And so I'm challenging the women today.
Yes.
Tell the men in your life what you've experienced. Tell them what it's really like to be a woman, the inboxes you might get on social media for being a woman.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And they think it's okay. And then when you tell them, "No, I'm not interested," or whatever, then they're upset, because as a woman, you're just supposed to be happy that anybody's talking to you. Right? So I'm challenging, telling the men in your life, so you can educate them on what's going on, so they are aware. Absolutely. And especially if you got a daughter or a son, that every time particular people at your house show up, and they start acting different, pay attention.
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yes,
pay attention.
Absolutely. Because we take it for granted. And we expect our young daughters and our young sons to just be friends with Uncle this and Aunt that. In Jamaica, every adult's friend of your parents is Uncle somebody or Auntie somebody. And they're their friends, but they're not your relatives. But we're supposed to respect our elderly and listen to them and do all the things that they tell us to do. And sometimes what they're telling us is not something that we should be doing. But as you said earlier, we have no voice, because the victims have no voice. We cannot express it. As I said earlier, we feel ashamed, we feel responsible, and so we close up. We shut it down. We feel as if, what did I do? What did I do? It gets me so angry when a young girl or a woman gets raped and say, "What was she wearing?" It doesn't matter what you're wearing.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how short your skirt was.
No one has the right to harm you. No one does. When I was raising my son, my son Gabriel's 22 now, I used to tell him all the time, because you know how some family members force kids, "Go hug so-and-so." I used to tell him, if he would pull back, I'd be like, "No, don't." Okay. He don't have to hug you. And people used to look at me and my husband really weird, because he was on board with me. He was like, "He don't want to hug. He ain't got to hug you." And people would get offended. But I don't care if you get offended. I am the steward, and that God has placed over this life. And my responsibility is that I have to stand before God and stand account for what I did or did not do. So I don't care if your feelings are hurt. I'm going to let him know you own this body. And no one has the right to do anything to this body that you don't want him to do.
Exactly. What I did when my daughters were growing up, and my husband's male friends would come to the house, "We'll go to your room. Let's stay in your room. We're not going to be out there on exhibition. You're polite and you say hello and you walk away. Just walk away. They don't need to call you for anything. Nobody needs to see you, to have any conversation with you, because we just cut it down right there." I was a fierce protector of my daughters.
Yes. Well, I'm sure after what you experienced, you were on guard.
Very fierce protector of my daughters. But for my godfather, when he got me pregnant, what did he do with me? He put me in the car, the chauffeur's car, and sent me down to the gynecologist's office, where he put me to sleep and ripped the child out of me. I woke up like, why, what happened? "Oh, you had an abortion." "I didn't want one." "Well, he gave me a letter to give to the doctor, who was his very good friend." "Well, that's still, you gave me a letter that said,
wow,
do this."
Wow.
And so we have, you'll see us walking around, people will see people, we see each other, and we have no idea what that person has been through, what that person is going through, who that person really is. Because most relationships are on the surface. "How are you?" "I'm fine." work relationships, you work together, you just talk surface. Nobody goes deep beyond the layers and start digging up the layers and say, let's talk. Let's talk. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do. My ministry is called Revamp My Life Ministries.
Revamp My Life.
My website, revampmylifeministries.com, because and actually that name was given to me by God. What do you want me to do? Start a ministry. What? Revamp my life. I'd never heard the term before.
Yeah.
I said, revamp my life. And,
Wow.
and I walked in obedience, and I've done that. And what I'm trying to do is to create safe atmosphere and safe environment. So if someone who has been hurt, think they're going to be hurt, would just want to talk, they can call Marcia. Say, can we talk? And even if it's in the middle of the day at my desk, sometimes I'll say, give me a minute, let me walk out of the building, go sit in my car, so I can listen.
I know now why we met, because I always joke with people that have this sign on my forehead that says, tell me all your stuff. Because I'm the person that you walk into Walmart and you say, hey, how you doing? And people stop and they tell me everything that's going on with them. I get that all the time. And especially whenever I hear a need, I'm always looking for people I know in the community that can help meet that need. So I know now why we met. Like I said, I'm a believer in divine appointments, because I have been in those spaces that I know women who would need to have those conversations with someone who really understands.
Give you my number.
Absolutely. Oh, you don't have to worry. We're definitely going to connect. One thing I was thinking, especially when you start talking about healing relationships, you talk about you and your husband. Have you guys ever considered being in a space where he could actually talk to other men that maybe their wife or significant other has been in that space? And because I can see that there are probably men who are struggling with how do I help my wife? How do I, how am I now that I know these things? Have you ever thought, have you guys ever had that conversation?
No, we have not. But trust me, this will happen tonight.
Yes.
That will be a conversation to have tonight.
I see that, because for him, just like for you being at a space where you've been through it, it makes a difference when a man who's been in this space is now able to have a real conversation with other men, because men are such fierce protectors. What happens is, even though he wasn't there, he's feeling like, I couldn't protect you.
I could have.
Yes.
And one of the first questions most people do ask after reading the book, 2 questions. Is your mother still alive? And is your godfather still alive? And he asked me those questions. I said, no, but what if he knew he wasn't alive. He said, what if he was? He said, I feel as if I would get on a plane and go to Jamaica and deal with him.
Yes.
They get so angry.
Yes.
Where is your mother? In her grave. Were you able to forgive her? Yes. Yes. Why? Because that's what God told me to do. So that I too can be forgiven.
So you can be forgiven.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I'm so blessed and so thankful that you were obedient.
Thank the Lord.
And you wrote what you wrote, and now you're out here telling your story, because again, it is something that it is like the final frontier of topics and conversations, especially in our community, where it is so often someone that a family member, a friend.
Yes, it is,
and
yes.
I think about what I mentioned before about never telling my father about his best friend, as I remember, and I know why the cage bird sings when Maya talks about what happened when she told, and you think, I went back to that, it's like instantaneous.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to jail. And so then she took that on. She took responsibility.
Exactly.
Because he was harmed because she spoke. So it is important that we do create those safe spaces for people to speak.
Yes.
So how can our audience get your book?
The Odyssey of Survival, promoter. It is available on my website, revampmylifeministries.com, and also on amazon.com. And also, I do have an inventory, which you can get my information, give me a call, and I'll mail you one. It's easy. We try to make it easy. It's I must tell you that when you do get the book, and I do hope you do, never start reading at night. You will not sleep. You'll be up crying all night because you need to turn the page and get to the next chapter to see what happened next, what happened. And I'm telling this from all the other readers.
Yes.
Start reading when you do have the time. Of course, you can't complete the entire book. Sometimes lots of people have. But my advice is do not start at nights, because you will not be able to sleep. And yes, every word is true. As a matter of fact, lots of it have been tamed down on advice of my producer that you have to be mindful, I was told. Be mindful of your readers. And so I had to tame a lot of it down, all the abuse, all the beatings, all the rapings, and all that type of stuff. But none of it is fictional. It all happened to me, and I've lived through it. And my takeaway is, regardless of what you've been through, there is life after abuse. God is a good God. And if you cannot find your way, and most of us cannot without the help of God, turn to God. He will. He has promised that He will never leave us. He will never forsake us. And you have not been too hurt. You have not been too beaten up. You have not been to the place. There's no place that we ever can be that is bad enough where God cannot reach us. He reached me. He reached me. And I'm sitting here. If He reached me, He will reach you. And guess what? He wants to, because He loves you.
Wow. I have nothing to add to that. That was the perfect ending to this segment. I want you to hang around. We're going to bring you and our other guests back at the end, and we'll close out the show together.
Yes, we will.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I have the beautiful and amazing songstress, Butta B-Rocka here. I can't wait for you guys to meet her. You're live with Regina Sunshine on the People You Need to Know series here at Instinct Radio.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine, motivational speaker, author, and talk show host. I am passionate about helping others to live their best life. I call it getting a Regina Sunshine state of mind. I'm the host of the Regina Sunshine Show. It airs every Monday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on instinctradio.net, where again you will find me helping others to live their best life. It is my goal always to leave you better than I found you, and to help you to understand that it's not over till you win. And if you hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. Make sure to follow me on Facebook.com under Regina Sunshine Robinson, and also on my website, reginasunshine.com. Hi, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. Hello, it's your girl, Regina Sunshine, and they call me the Affirmation Queen. Why am I called the Affirmation Queen? Because I'm a big believer that if you change the way you speak, you'll change the way you think, and you'll change the circumstances in your life. So start today speaking words of life over you and your circumstances, and see if everything doesn't begin to line up with those things that you are speaking. And I want to leave you with these parting thoughts. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. And take with you my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
All right, you guys, you're back live with Regina Sunshine here on the continuation of the People You Need to Know series here on the Regina Sunshine Show. And I have my second and final guest for the day. I know y'all saying, what? Because, you know, I normally have 4 or 5. So guests here at the same time, but this is perfect because it really gave Miss Fisher an opportunity to really tell her story today, and I'm so blessed by that. And so our second guest of the day is Miss Butta B-Rocka. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. I like to mention how I met someone, and I saw you perform at a fashion show on January the 6th, and I was blown away. I was like, how have I never heard her before? And then, of course, I found out you had been here before on the DTTO show. But I was really blown away. And I'm one of those people, I like to go like to spoken word, you know, and live music, independent artist events here in the city. So I was just surprised I'd never heard you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I was really excited to come on to the show. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Woo. Okay. Well, I am an international singer-songwriter. I'm also a playwright, and I have a nonprofit organization called Artists Rock the Mic.
I like that. Now, see, you didn't send me your bio stuff. I didn't know that either. So let's start with your nonprofit, Artists Rock the Mic. Tell me about that.
Artists Rock the Mic is different artists from different genres coming together to give back to the community. I do concerts all the time anyway, and it started, there was a young lady that contacted us. She was asking for some money, and she was telling me that she was in college, and she had a scholarship for college. And I'm like, well, how you got a scholarship and you ain't got no place to stay? And come to find out, they have academic and athletic scholarships, but it doesn't cover your room and board. And so got with some people that I was working with, because I was forming the Artists Rock the Mic, but I was trying to figure out what type of cause it was going to be. I wanted to do something that everybody wasn't doing, you know, that type of stuff. And so it was like, how can I use my talents to give back? I'm doing concerts anyway. Why can't I contact the people in the community, the music people in the community, and start throwing these concerts and giving back to the community? So the very first show, it had, well, let me go back. So found out she went to Kennesaw State, and they have a program called CARE program, and they have over 1,100 students that are homeless, and they're either couch hopping or they're sleeping in their cars. And so it bothered me, of course. And so fast forward, start contacting all these people, all these friends of mine that sing, and I'm like, look, this is what we're going to do. So we put the first show together. We had the country singer, we had the Spanish singer.
I love that.
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of everybody. So we had a melting pot of performers. Jazzy Faith performed, Von Sims performed, Xavier Lewis performed. I mean, it was really good. And when we got done performing, we presented Marcy over at Kennesaw State, who runs the CARE program. We presented her with a check. One of my board members is Cat Dog from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. So he got up and he presented the check to Marcy that we collected from the door. And then there was when we was going around talking to different organizations to try to get people to come out to the show, there was a guy that was at one of the meetings, and he pulled us to the side and he says, I was that college homeless student. And he said he was an art major, and he had too much pride to ask his mom and dad for money. So he literally was sleeping in his car, and after he would go to the restrooms in the gym to take his showers, and he would go to the cafeteria and go to the back of the trash can and would get food and stuff. And so they start saying to him, they start putting notes on the trash can saying, please stop eating out here, it's not safe. And so they start leaving him bags of food. And so I said, you know, it's one thing for me to talk about it, but it is something totally different when you have somebody that's actually been in that situation. So he came, and when he got up and started speaking, I mean, he just completely shut the room down. So it was real cool. And from that, it's kind of stemmed into some other things where other colleges asked us to help them, but then other organizations also started asking us for help. So what we started to do for a year and a half, consistently, monthly, every fourth Wednesday, we was doing a concert at Cat's Cafe where I would feature 5 to 6 artists that would come out. We've had Tony Terry, we've had Ken Ford, we've had so many amazing singers come out and show me love. But they would come out, my band would play behind everybody would do 2 songs, and we partnered with I Will Survive, where we collected gas cards to help the current cancer patients get back and forth to their chemo. We collected the head scarves for the women that was losing their hair, and then we've also worked with we collected 2,000 water bottles for Flint, Michigan. We put like the little sticky notes and put encouraging words on all of the bottles and everything. And it was so cool because a couple months after we sent the 2,000 water bottles, which Steve Harvey that donated, they did 100 cases, BB&T did 50 cases, and the rest came from the community. But a couple of months later, there was a teacher that came to the show, and she was from Detroit, and she came to the show, and she was telling me that our water went to her school, because what they had to do is they had to they mixed the middle school and the high school together, because it was you got to think about, with the water you have these water bottles, but you have a family of 4, a family of 5, and you need more than just to drink. You got to take showers, you got to brush your teeth, you got to cook. So it's all these different things, and the government was giving out a case of water a day. And so we sent gallons of waters and cases and everything. So it was real cool. But she came to the show and she told us about they received the waters, and they received all of the letters that we sent and stuff. So I was like, okay, because that day I was kind of down, because I'm like, is this helping?
Yes.
Because sometimes you feel like you're doing all these shows, and you're doing all these shows, and then you like, is it helping? Is people appreciating it? So it felt good.
I know what you mean. I've had those days where you're like, I'm working so hard, I'm doing this and that. I'm like, is anyone benefit? And then I'll get an email from a woman who says, I was at your, brunch, and it blessed me. So that's God. That's the Holy Spirit working to make sure hey, keep moving. Just keep working. That you're making. I'm so blessed by this. I actually, I already know I got an event I want you to sing at. For the first time last year on my birthday, I did a birthday concert, and it was to raise money for a scholarship I started in my grandmother's name. She passed in almost 2 years ago now, and she was the biggest servant that I knew. And I said, what better way to serve her than to help some young people go to college? And so I just put a post on Facebook, and I said, I just need some people to come and perform. And Tiny came out, and Georgia Me, a whole bunch of people came out and perform, and they just shut the place down, and I was able to get away with my first scholarship, which was such a blessing. So I already know, because I was sitting here making a list, and I was like, Butta's got to be at the concert this year. Because listen, Nick, this is funny. I asked my coach, I said, I did the concert because it was my 45th birthday. I said, can I have another one for my 46th? She was like, it's your birthday, you can do it. I said, okay, because I want to do it again, and let's raise more money, and my goal is to give away at least $10,000 this year for that particular event. So I would love to invite you to be a part of that.
Okay.
All right, then we'll definitely talk about that. So the music, where did the music start for you?
Oh my goodness. Well, it started when I was 4, when I saw Diana Ross performing and looking super elegant in her dress and everything. And I remember seeing her on TV, and I ran upstairs, and when I got my little boa, put on one of my dresses and got a brush and started singing in the mirror, you couldn't tell me nothing. So I was going to be, the next Diana Ross. And then we moved to Tampa. And at age 13, me and my cousins formed a girl group and started singing and stuff. And then when I became 15, we moved up to Atlanta, and we started working with Bobby Brown's camp and with Usher. And we started doing a couple of things. And then I eventually went solo. I went solo. Got into, I'm giving you the real short version, was literally headed to my attorney's office. I had a deal on the table with Warner and Sony, and I got into a car accident. And the car accident left me drinking from a straw for 6 months. It took me a year to come back out. And I went back to the same labels, and Warner had revamped, and Sony had just signed a young lady that was my age. And then we went to the third label, and the third label was that wanted us, was like, you know, I'm going to be honest with you, you know, they getting girls that is like 13, 14, 15. That was the new crave. And I'm like 17, 18. So, you know, I kind of like missed my moment or whatever. So got married, started working, had kids, all that good stuff. But it was something about, you're never going to be happy doing something that you don't like to do. Like, and I remember sitting at this office, at this pharmaceutical office, and it was like everybody was a robot. Everybody had on the suits, get up at the same time, go eat at the same time. It was crazy for me. And so it was like, I can't stay here. Mm-hmm. And so I left, and I went home, and I was like, I can't stay here. And so went full-fledged into music, and I left. I've been doing independent since 2010. Yeah. Since 2010 now.
Well, see, when that purpose is inside you, it's going to fight its way to the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm so glad you did, because I'm telling you, I was sitting there, because, you know, I was one of the judges at Fashion Show, and you started to sing. I said, who is that singing? You have such an amazing voice.
Thank you.
Like I said, and I don't know if you understood what I was saying before, because, you know, I wanted Marcia to be able to tell her story, and then I want you to come in here, because your voice has the power to change the atmosphere.
Aw.
That's what I mean. It's one of those, you hear people sing, and then you have some who has a gift, and you know it's a God-given gift to be able to break down walls and tear things. And that's what I mean, because when you start this, I stopped everything I was doing. I'm like, who is this? And yes, everybody else may have enjoyed it, but I saw something else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I saw something else. I saw a gift that I don't even know if you fully understand what's behind what God is doing with you. This is bigger than the moments you're walking in right now.
And you know what's so crazy? I feel that.
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
I do. And I've had,
Yes.
I actually have a lot of stuff going on right now. And I know that this is just the surface of what I'm doing. You was mentioning you hadn't really seen me around. I've been blessed. It's so crazy how when you walk out there, when you step out there on faith, how just doors start opening. And I started touring a lot overseas. I'm gone a lot, and it's been a blessing. I just got back on Wednesday.
From Hawaii, right?
From Hawaii.
I saw that.
Yep, just got back. And before that, I was in Dominican Republic, and before that, Spain, and like I've been to some amazing places and seen some things that I never in my I've envisioned it, but when I got there, it was even bigger than what I thought it would be, you know. So it's been an amazing roller coaster of things.
And you didn't miss anything.
No,
I promise you. God will redeem it. When you're obedient and you're walking in your purpose for Him, He will redeem those things that you feel like you missed out on. And the thing is, now you will appreciate them so much more.
Yeah.
And you're in a space where you're walking through these doors as a woman, not being as a girl that they can mold and change and use the way they want to. Now you come in knowing who you are.
Yep, absolutely.
And that you can walk in like, yeah, this is the music I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
As opposed to somebody else dictating to you.
Absolutely. It was, I went through a depression, of course, because, you know, I grew up with Usher and Akon and Lil Zane and all these people, and like, we was all on the same level. They just got their deals and everything. I had my 2 deals on the table. We doing all these shows and stuff. And then it was like, I got hurt. I'm drinking from a straw, and then their careers just soared. And then you see all your friends just doing their thing, and then they kind of looking at you a little different because you're not on the same level with them anymore. And so it was kind of hard, you know, to see all your friends. I know a lot of people in the music industry, and like, they're doing their thing, and I just felt like I was just completely left out. And I'm like, well, maybe this ain't what I'm supposed to do, and all that type of stuff. But you can never let somebody else define who you are. And so I decided to go ahead and get my album together, and that was the best decision of my life. And it it spun into some amazing things. I have sung at the presidential inauguration ball. I have opened up at the the Kentucky Derby. I have done so many things that it's just been. I did Dominican Republic, 9,000 people, and I'm the headliner. You see my billboard coming in, going into the community, the village and stuff. It was crazy. So.
That's awesome. So how does it feel to be where you are now and to be walking in those spaces of what I call manifested dreams?
It feels great. I struggle. I'm gonna be honest. I struggle with my own self because I'm competitive with myself, and so I'm always striving for more. Like it's like, okay, yeah, you've been here. Now you're trying to get here. Now you're trying to get here. And so I'm never satisfied. I'm always pushing myself to do more. And it's been a blessing. I just wrote a play and had my first debut. Never saw that coming. I just, and that's going to start a tour is about to happen from that. I've had a lot of people contact me that want to do a tour. Had 5 national artists for my very first play. That's awesome. It was insane. And I had a wonderful director and writer that helped me. And that was something that completely changed my life because, I write. I got placements overseas on a lot of different artists, but I never saw that coming. I knew that I wanted to do a book, and I knew that, there was things I wanted to do, but to have someone push you in that direction and say they believe in you and help you, and show you the way, because I didn't have the blueprint on how that worked. And so, I'm grateful, for all of the people that's come into my life that's helped me make it from one step to the other. So
I'm so glad that you stepped out.
Yeah,
I really am.
Yeah, I'm scared though, but you got to do it. And now to be almost 8 years of completely stepping out, I've it's been a little scary because I went through a divorce recently. I got 2 boys. They're 14 and 16, and boys.
Were they in the fashion show?
Yes, they were.
Yes.
I was so proud to see my kids in that fashion show. Yeah, I was like a big, I was like a proud mom because they both have been on TV. They're both SAG eligible. My youngest plays drums. He's me all day. Into that music. And then the oldest one, he's got his own little swag. He's now football player, track. I don't know nothing about sports, so the moms at Hillgrove High School took me in and sits me at the 50-yard line, and they teach me about the sport. I go help serve the food and stuff. So, to see all of us on the, at the same performance and stuff was real cool because they give me their schedules. Like my youngest, he's chorus, he's drums and stuff. And then I have to go to the football game. Then I got to go to the track meeting. I got to be everywhere. So we was all at the same place, same time. So it was cool.
Awesome. Well, as I'm sitting here thinking, listening to your story, listen to Marcia's, and thinking about my own. Whenever I was younger, I had these huge dreams too, right? Got married, had a family, completely lost myself in being a wife and a mom.
You do that.
Yes. And so it's only now, I'm 45 now, and I'm living the dreams that I dreamed then.
Right.
And and at first I was really hard on myself. I was like, because I was most likely to succeed, all these things. And I have friends from high school now said, we've been waiting to see you on Oprah for years.
Right.
All this other stuff. And they're like, we thought you were going to be doing this, this, and this. And I would look at that and I was thinking, but I lost all this time. And I was beating myself up about where I could have been now, the things I could have been doing, and that I had wasted my time. That's what I said to myself. And the Holy Spirit said, you didn't waste anything. He said, think about what you built during that time.
Right.
Lean on those victories. That time was for that time for a reason.
Right.
And so it's interesting because I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about Marcia now in the different space. It's like the second phase.
Right.
Like phase 2, right? And you get to now do what you thought you would have done in phase 1. But I appreciate it so much. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I look at you as you begin to talk about your boys, how you lit up. and to be able to be in this space with them, living your
Yeah,
dreams
yeah.
with them. What does that feel like?
It feels real good. We actually we did a photo. I had a photo shoot with Savvy Magazine, and she told me to bring my boys, and so they are in the magazine as well. So I'm like, how dope is that? I'm
Yeah.
taking photos with my kids, and now they've gotten they're ready to do a photo shoot on Wednesday, and we got called for some other stuff for them with other companies and stuff. I'm like, how cool is this?
Awesome.
Everybody working. If my dog was obedient and could just stay there, he would be working too.
I love that. I love that. So what do you have that's upcoming that you want to tell our
Oh my
audience about?
God, what am I doing? I'm doing so much. I'm working on my second album. I just started recording again, thankfully, because everybody was like giving me material that I wasn't really feeling, because I'm trying to go a different direction. The first album was more pop, soft rock because of me traveling so much overseas and everything. But this record, this album, think female Bruno Mars. I'm trying to get that feel good music, you know. So I've been working on my new project. My play is we've gotten several offers from different investors wanting to take the play on the road, but I'm trying to go with sponsors instead. So exploring some different options for that, because I want to do a seven state tour. And I just got some amazing news about the Olympics that's going to be in Tokyo, where they want me to be a part of it. And
awesome.
yeah, man. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. I got it. I just started writing music articles in magazines, and my first one gets published next month in this magazine. So I'm excited about that. And
Joy is coming out of you. It's oozing out of you. Go ahead.
I'm just excited about where God is taking me, and I'm also doing some more scripts and everything. So I got a couple things up my sleeve.
I'm excited for you.
Me
What
too.
a blessing.
Me too. I'm
What
excited.
a blessing. And you know, as you travel, you're going to have the opportunity to tell the stories that you told here today, because there are other young people, or people generally need to know that it's not over. You know, that it didn't work out like you thought, but there's still purpose in your life, and you can still live out that thing you know God put you here to do.
Absolutely. One of the things you was talking about earlier was how, you know, the women, we do get tried. And I was sitting in the back like, yeah. It got to the point where I would stop going to the studios and just tell them, just send me the tracks. I'll do the tracks on my own. And the guys would hit me up and well, I'll put you on this show and we'll do this if you do this. And I'm not that chick that's gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna do it if I want to do it, but you're not gonna force me to do something I don't want to do just to say I got a record deal, or just to say I'm on somebody's show. So it was like, you got to have integrity, you know, with this, and you got to know who you are, and you really just got to step out there on faith and can't be scared. I mean, you can be scared, but you got to toughen up a little bit and just go.
Yes. Well, I always tell people, whatever you're afraid of, you have to do.
Yeah.
Anytime I you know, like with the whole thing, the new editor-in-chief thing for Bold Favor, when Bold Plus, when she approached me about it, I said, I gotta think about it. And whenever I was talking to a friend of mine, and I recognized, it hit me immediately that I didn't say yes because I was afraid.
Yeah.
I told my friend, I'll call you back. Because the moment I identify fears was holding me back, I have to, that's the rule, I have to do it.
Right.
And I called her back, I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I said, but you have faith in me, and I'm afraid to do it, so I got to do it.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes you just do it afraid.
Yeah.
You just do it scared. You just do it anyway. And know that God is with you. Because my thing is this, fear is a tool of the enemy to keep you from where God has you going.
Yep.
And so when you see that, you already know, I gotta go that direction now, because you're trying to stop me from going in that direction.
And another thing, on top of fear, is isolation. Fear makes you, or the situations make you feel like you're the only person that's dealing with it. Mm-hmm. And then when you tell your stories, you find out that you're not the only person, and you telling your story helps other people also get through it.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad you mentioned that about, the whole situations with the studios and everything. And again, I do think, and I'm hope you guys are listening, women, tell the men in your life, because they don't know, they have no idea what it's like to be a woman.
If my husband at the time knew all the stuff, like if he knew, he wouldn't have let me go to the studio at all. I know he was kind of shocked when I finally stopped going to the studio, but I was like, I cannot, because like, it's going to be a bad situation, because if you tell them off, then you now, you know, the B and everything, and you extra tough, and don't nobody want to work with you like that. But then I'm like, but if I give in, then I'm going to have this reputation, and that's not what I want either. And I got boys, and I don't like you. Oh, no. No.
Yes. And, you know, one of the things I stressed to the men that day, I said, and I don't think that some men recognize it. They just see it as them flirting or whatever. And I said, if you wouldn't want someone to say it to your wife or your mother or don't do it.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care who it is. Don't do it. Don't say it. Because to you, it's just you flirting or whatever with a particular woman, but you don't know how she's receiving it on this end.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't want someone to say that to your daughter, don't say it to anybody's daughter.
Absolutely. I got to make sure I say this. I just did a radio show the other day, and I somehow omitted it. I didn't try to, but I was just voted hottest female vocalist at the ATL's award show. Thank you. Shout out to Kay Bryant. I wanted to make sure I put that on the radio because I forgot to do it.
Oh, I know why.
Yeah.
After hearing you sing. So do you have something you want to sing for us today?
Well, I just sent her a song. You don't have it?
All
okay.
Right. So we'll take a break.
Okay.
And we'll get the song straight, and we'll come back. You'll be live.
Yes, because it's called Sunshine. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Actually, I'm gonna have to sing with it because I don't have the instrumental, but you'll still be able to hear me, so it's all good.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll take a quick break, and we come right back. Butta B-Rocka here live on the Regina Sunshine Show.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hi, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, bringing you the Regina Sunshine Show, my version of midday motivation, helping you get a Regina Sunshine state of mind. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine Robinson, coming here today to talk to you about my new book, Regina Sunshine State of Mind, 7 Keys to Help You Get Your Mind Right. If you've been looking for that tool to help you in getting a positive mental attitude and not only getting it, but maintaining it, this is the book for you. You can find it on my website, reginasunshine.com, or you can also find it at amazon.com. Hello, it's your girl Regina Sunshine, and they call me the Affirmation Queen. Why am I called the Affirmation Queen? Because I'm a big believer that if you change the way you speak, you'll change the way you think, and you'll change the circumstances in your life. So start today speaking words of life over you and your circumstances, and see if everything doesn't begin to line up with those things that you are speaking. And I want to leave you with these parting thoughts. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. And take with you my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
sunshine, good day, nice to see you. I look out the window and I see it's a beautiful day. Skies are clear, birds are chirping, butterflies fly by, what more can I say? Yeah. 'Cause all that really matters is that we got each other, that we got one more chance to figure it out, get it together. We can handle any stormy weather. Yes, we can handle any stormy weather. Take in the sunshine. Take in the sunshine. All that really matters is that we got each other, that we have one more chance to figure it out, get it together. La la, sunshine, sunshine. Ah, ooh, la la, sunshine, sunshine. Take in a deep breath, let it all in. Come in. Tomorrow's never promised, but today we can begin. Skies are clear, birds are chirping, butterflies fly by, what more can I say? Say, 'cause all that really matters is that we got each other, that we have one more chance to figure it out, get it together. We can handle any stormy weather. Yes, we can handle any stormy weather. Take in the sunshine. Take in the sunshine. All that really matters is that we got each other, that we have one more chance to figure it out, get it together. La la, sunshine, sunshine. Ah, ooh, la la, sunshine, sunshine.
Oh my goodness. Ned, you can just flip the camera back. Oh my God. I could hear the praise in it. I don't know about anybody else. I could hear the praise in it, the thankfulness in that song.
Thank you. I haven't sung that song in a minute, but when I was sitting here listening to you talk, and I'm like, that's the perfect song for this show. Sunshine.
Yes, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Wow, time has gone so much faster than I imagined. I want to ask you guys a couple of questions to give you an opportunity to really speak to the people that are listening. And on their journeys, because you both of you have different stories, but everyone has their own journey, their own. There are people out there today who are thinking, I can't live my dream, or I can't live my purpose for whatever reason. I've been abused, I've been hurt, I've been abandoned, I missed my chance. Whatever that thing is, what would be your word of encouragement for them and getting beyond that and getting to what they're supposed to be doing? I'll start with you, Butta.
I would say, no one's going to believe in you like you believe in yourself. And I think that once you just get out there, I'm 40 years old now. I've just now getting started, really. I mean, I've been doing it for a minute, but I'm just now getting started. And no one's going to understand your story until you tell your story. So
That's right. Thank you, Marcia.
Well, what I would say is life is a journey. And we are all on this journey together. We might come to an impasse, we might come to a stumbling block, but the important thing is that we get up and we keep going. As long as God gives us life, as long as we have another day, as long as we have breath in our bodies, never give up. The stumbling blocks and the things that happen along the way, they're just helping us. They're just put there to strengthen us, because you will always come out stronger in the end. So just never give up.
I love that. I do. Something else, both of you have gifts that obviously have been given to you for a greater purpose than just yourself. Do you feel that? Do you feel that responsibility to make sure you're using your gift to be a blessing? Butta.
absolutely. Which is the reason I started my nonprofit organization, to make sure that, on top of, me being on stage and doing it, something that I absolutely love to do, using it to be able to help other people. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Marcia?
I've always used the phrase that say, I'm so pregnant with all the gifts that God has placed within me, I need to give birth.
Yes, I
And
like
you said
that.
you turned 45, and Butta, she just turned 40.
I did.
Well, I'm 60 years old.
Well, you wearing that 60.
You
Oh,
are.
I'm
my
proud. I'm 60 years old. And there's so much that I want to do, because I just feel like God has placed so much in me. And yes, now I'm actually just starting to step out and do it. I have a purpose. And my purpose is, or one of my purposes is to empower women. Women, I have a passion for women and for young girls. And if I can help in any way to empower you to get past what has happened in the journey, so that you can continue to go on, you can continue to walk, you can continue every day to get up and feel good about yourself. That is where I am at this time.
Awesome. Now, practical tips, because I'm all about practical things you do in
Yes.
your own life to keep yourself encouraged,
Yes.
to build yourself up. Is there one thing you do every day, or there's something that you do in your life that keeps you full, that keeps you encouraged, that helps you on those days where you're like you said, hey, is this really working? Does it really matter? Are there things that you have implemented in your life to help keep you encouraged?
I read a lot. I listen to a lot of inspirational affirmations and different things, and I write a lot in my journal. But one of the things that I just started recently doing, because sometimes when you're writing these affirmations and you're saying all these things that you want, and you're not seeing it come into fruition at that moment, it starts to discourage you. So now upon reading some other things, I'm starting to put in there, so that it's not, it doesn't cancel out how you're really feeling. I love the thought of, then I put what it is. I love the thought of having this. I love the thought of doing this. I love the thought of, and so it doesn't, sometimes you say, I am debt free, but you're still debt free. You still got a lot of debt. So it kind of cancels how you're really feeling sometimes. And so now I love the thought of being able to pay all of my bills and, that type of stuff. And it just changes the mood for me.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. We've moved into a season, and I was just talking to Ned about this. The Bible talks about the sower overtaking the reaper. We're there.
Yeah.
Yes, we
It's
are.
happening.
Yes,
So those
we
things,
are.
that's why you talking about
Yes.
how all the stuff,
Yes.
the things you've been believing for are
Yep.
beginning to
Yes.
manifest so
Exactly.
quickly.
Yep.
Yes.
Because we're there. So I'm going to tell you, everything that you want, now's the time to confess and believe like
Oh,
you
I absolutely
never
believe it.
have. Yes.
I believe it.
yes.
You see,
Marcia?
one thing I try to do daily is to stay positive. I do believe that God has placed within us everything that we need. We just have to find a way for it to be manifested. And so every day I go to work, and people may complain. We complain about a lot of stuff. Sometimes we don't realize how ungrateful we are. And I'm the person saying, oh, stop it. It's raining. So what's wrong with it raining? God is watering the earth. If the rain doesn't fall, the seed won't germinate. We won't have food. Right. Oh, it's cold. Yes, it's cold. But what I say is I complain when it's cold. I really do, because I do not like the cold. But once it warms up, you'll never hear a complaint out of me. It could be 100 degrees outside. I go, whew. But I will not complain, because I say I cannot complain about everything.
Yes.
And we find that we complain about everything.
Yeah.
And so I try to stay positive and to motivate those around me to stay positive. Yes, some things might irk us, but we need to find the positive in our daily
Yep,
life.
find the
There's
good.
no day. Just the fact that you wake up, just the fact that we can get up, that's something good.
Yes.
Find the positive in that.
Yes, I love that. Books, resources. Is there a book that you've read? It doesn't have to be recent, just ever that you read and you're like, man, this book really impacted my life. Because I like for our audience to be able to go and get tools and begin implementing them right then.
Absolutely. The very first book that opened my mind to you can have everything you want in life is Prosperity Secrets of the Ages by Catherine Ponder. I still go back on that book.
Okay, I'm going to have to go get that now.
Yes, it's a really good book, and it made me do the aha.
I like that. Marcia?
The one I read a few years ago is called Either Way I Win. Do not remember who wrote it. It was a lady talking about she had cancer, and whether she survived or not, either way she would win. And I think about, this was years ago I read that book, and I think about that all the time, especially when things are not going the way that I would want them to go. I say, you know what? Either way, I am still going to win.
Oh, I'm going to so use that.
Yeah.
I'm going to find that book. Oh, my
That's
goodness.
good.
Yes.
That's good.
Because I always tell my son, I used to tell my son when he was growing up, him and my husband, I would tell him, you know, they always talk about boys get to a certain age, they start feeling themselves.
Yeah.
I used to always say, me plus the Holy Spirit is a dangerous combination. You don't want none. I said, we always win.
Yes.
So that's how I look at things. I was like, I have the Holy Spirit with me. So whenever situation I find
Yes.
myself, we win.
We
So
win.
I love that. Well, I thank you guys so much for who you are and for sharing your hearts today. I believe a lot of people would be blessed. You know, my show also airs on People TV, and every show doesn't air that, but this is one I think the people need to hear. You guys have really blessed me, and I know Ned, I hear about there in the amen corner while y'all are talking as well. You've been a huge blessing. So what I want you to do as we close out is remind our audience where they can get your book, Marcia, where they can get your music, but also how they can find you on social media. And if there's one parting words, anything that's on your heart that you feel like you just want to say before you leave, I want you to do that. So, Butta.
You can find me everywhere at Butta B-Rocka. That's B-U-T-T-A, B as in boy, R-O-C-K-A. I'm on all social media, YouTube, my website. Everything is Butta B-Rocka. And I guess I'll just leave you with, never give up. Never give up. It doesn't matter your age. You just go for it.
I love that. Thank you so much, Marcia.
You can find The Odyssey of Survival on my website, revampmylifeministries.com, and it's also available for sale on Amazon.com, and you could also buy it personally from me. We could have my information out there. And I am on Facebook. I'm Marcia Fisher or Marcia O'Connor. I'm not on the others because I'm not a great social media fan, but I know that I need to get out there. But the one thought I would like to leave with you is just continue to be who you are. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. And when you do that, you'll always be true around you. People around you, your surroundings will be true if you're first true to yourself.
Well, I thank you guys so much. This has been a
Thank
great show.
you.
I've so enjoyed myself. I didn't cry my lashes off, which is a good thing. But to my audience, I thank you for tuning in. I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We have the first ever live cooking segment here on the Regina Sunshine Show. If you guys remember back in November for the Curvy and Confident Awards, I did the 3rd annual Awesome Girl Awards. And one of our awesome girls is 14-year-old chef, Shayla Wright, who is an author and a chef. And so she's going to be here launching her spring line of bundt cakes live on air. So I'm so excited. We got her and plus 2 little girls that are coming to assist her. So it's going to be a fun show. So make sure you guys tune in, support our young people. If you know a young person who has a business, who has a gift, and they're out here and they're pursuing that, support them, show up, drop their parents a check in the mail, do something to be a blessing to them as they are pursuing their dreams. So make sure you guys tune in. And if you haven't, go to her website. Her website, I think, is Cook Me Up a Notch. Go to her website. We had her red velvet cake last week for the Women in Radio show. It was awesome. The 14-year-old cooks a mean red velvet cake at 14 years old. So definitely support her. Cookies, all types of things. If you're having events, look to support people young people who especially need our support and encouragement to know their dreams are possible, okay? And I leave you with my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning. We're out.
The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.